such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com just got up. And yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock. That's how we roll at AssholeConsulting.com. A young man writes, I apologize, I took a couple more days than I normally like to do this, but I did finish the book/essay, so that's done. And in part why I look like shit. Hey asshole, huge fan of your videos. Figured I'd send in my request. Some background. I'm a 28-year-old single male, no kids. I currently live in Toronto. I work from home as a software development company in Boston. I'd like to know what places you recommend to visit with the goal of finding a place to live. I have 4 constraints as follows. I know it's likely impossible to have it all, but I'm just looking for these items to not be ridiculous. 1, climate needs to be nice. Currently I get like 5 months of really nice weather and the rest is a shit show where it's just not as fun to get out. I've considered Vegas, but last time I went there in August. Yeah, that's the worst time, man. That's the worst time to go to Vegas. I was in Phoenix one time and it never went below 100. Even at night, it never went below 100 and I wasn't there for all 10 days, but it was like a record-setting 10 days. And of course it was global warming. Although it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed the heat, I can't picture myself living there indefinitely since it was very dry heat and I'd like some more humidity. Thinking somewhere like Toronto in the summertime or California is what I consider good climate. 2, not such a ridiculous tax rates. I'm currently making $125,000 with a fully legal corporate tax structure set up, so I managed to get taxes way down to like $15,000. I don't want to be losing it to California taxes. 3, not so ridiculous. Well, see, with the corporations, though, so you get a little bit of leeway there. Because you could set up your corporation in one state and then just pay yourself some kind of a pittance. But inevitably, you do have to repatriate those funds to where you live and then pay taxes on. This is my limited knowledge of taxing, but you could talk to Chad Elkins. He'll have it up. He'll know more. So you have a little, like, you know, if you like California, you could live there, but inevitably it's like, oh, there's this huge pile of money sitting in your S Corp or C Corp, or S Corp rather, and you gotta pay that out in a distribution. Well, make sure you're not in fucking California when you do that. 3, not such a ridiculous cost of living. I've lost track of how much condos go for here, but I think it's around $400,000. Even though if you go 15 kilometers out of downtown, I don't really care about living in the core downtown, just as long as I'm not in some really distant suburb. But even over here in the suburb, houses go for $400,000. I just want to be within a half an hour of driving time to downtown when there's no traffic. 4, not so ridiculous commute times. Although I enjoy the freedom of working from home, I'd like to keep my options open if I ever decide to take a site job. It'd also be nice to be able to get out during rush hour and not worry too much about traffic. I know traffic is inevitable, but as long as it doesn't turn into a jam-packed parking lot like it does in my area, I'm okay with it. So far, based on my research, I found Texas and Florida are worth exploring. What other places do you recommend? All right, well, there's the first thing, and I'm going to summarize Reconnaissance Man very succinctly in this one regard about the taxes. You want to go where there's no state income taxes. So there's Washington State, South Dakota, Wyoming, but you don't want to go to Wyoming, trust me. Florida and Texas, Tennessee, and then what are the other ones? I want to say there's 7. Oh, New Hampshire, but New Hampshire, you're going to have the exact same climate up there as Toronto. So those are kind of the options. If you don't mind paying a little bit of taxes, there's Arizona. Oh, I'm sorry, Nevada's the other one. Nevada's the one that's tax-free. Utah, but you're getting into that dry area. So yeah, you're presenting a problem that it is going to be a dry heat. So you're in the right area, but what I would recommend, I know that Vegas it's super hot, Phoenix it's super hot. Is there a way that you could summer vacation somewhere else? Like you headquarter out of Las Vegas. 'Cause I'm a big fan of Las Vegas. I'm going to be moving there inevitably. And for 9 months out of the year, it's either outright nice or very doable. The coldest it gets, well, we were up there, or down there rather, this past winter. It got pretty cold. It was like 40, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, but it was none of this below 20 bullshit we suffer in Minnesota and what you guys do up in Canada, Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So you have the money, you make the money, you can afford to headquarter in Las Vegas or someplace that's really nice 9 months out of the year, and then you kind of do a reverse snowbird. Then you come up to, like, I hate the state, but if you like lakes, Minnesota's nice. Or Toronto, you just go bum around with some buddies. I know you'd like to keep it cheap, but one of the good things about making as much money as you do is that you get to enjoy life, which is a problem. I see a lot, IT people such as yourself, single males, minimalists. Hey, I make 6 figures, but I'm a minimalist. Well, that's good. I'm all for that because you'll never starve. And it's good to have principles of minimalism because it teaches you the true value of life, your fellow human being, not things. But at the same time, making that much money, if you die with millions, what the fuck was that good for? So I would allow yourself to have a little bit of a luxury, a little bit of opulence. Opulence is a bit too strong of a word, but you've earned it. You didn't stick your dick in stupid. You didn't ejaculate into a single mom. You studied hard in STEM. You've set up the intelligence, set up the corporate structure to pay. You've earned the right to have yourself a little, summer home or winter home, depending on how you wanna work it. So what you're asking for is pretty much impossible because you want to live near a city but have no commute. Good luck with that. You like Vegas, but boy, you don't like the dry heat in summer. Well, there's a problem there. So what I'm thinking is, okay, if you want all that, you're looking in the mid-band of the United States. So places like Grand Junction, Colorado. All right, it's not going to be as big as Denver, but it's going to have pretty warm, very warm, relatively cheap, but sometimes it's still going to have a dry heat because it's pushing into the desert. Denver, I'd say, yeah, but that's a big city and they got traffic up the yin-yang. Tennessee's promising for kind of what you want. Nashville, Knoxville, not huge megalopolises like Toronto or Chicago or New York, even Denver. They're smaller, but you're still going to have to deal with traffic. But again, a much more moderate climate, not as dry heat. Phoenix, I love Phoenix. Phoenix is a fun town, lots of stuff to do out there. Arizona's a great state, but you're going to be paying a little bit in taxes. But then it's hot as fuck during summer, so you'd have to go somewhere else. Utah, like Salt Lake City, but that might still be a little bit too cold for you during winter. Reno, I'm just saying. Kansas City, that's a major metro area. You still get, but but you're still gonna get snow. So what I'm saying is, you can have everything you want if you loosen up the purse strings a little bit and allow yourself what you've earned, what you're entitled to because of all your hard work and frugal discipline and not fucking up. This is the benefit of not fucking up and doing things right. We get to have fun. A lot of people, I don't make a shit ton of money, but I sure as fuck have the right and earn every motherfucking penny and cent. A road tripping across the U.S. with my motorcycle, I don't feel one go, oh, geez, no, fuck you. You guys had kids that you couldn't afford, see ya, bye. I lived in a basement for fucking over a decade. Fuck that bullshit. I'm going to go have fun and spend my money. I think you should too. Now, in conjunction with being able to, split it, snowbird or summerbird, depending on which way you want to go. Since you can work from home, the world's your oyster in this regard. So this opens up, especially with your budget, things like, okay, let's say you really like Toronto, all right? Or you like Calgary, or you like some northern city. And it's just that winter that really gets to you. Well, you can easily afford 3 months down in New Zealand or Australia or Thailand. You can work remotely. So, whereas I know you're looking for something that's, it's this close to there, and I don't want to commute too far away. What I'm saying is, with your skills, you're making that kind of level of money. You're in software development. As long as you insist on something where you don't have to commute, you don't have to be at an office, you can find a place 9 months out of the year in a major metro on the outskirts of town. And if you want those benefits of culture, you're just going to have to face the fact that there's going to be traffic sometimes. That's just the thing. But if you could find a medium-sized town, a lot of those are in Texas. You could certainly find Dallas is huge. But there's certainly some medium-sized town. Amarillo, though, that's a boring town. But you would not have to deal. In other words, your climate situation is taken care of. You could just fly to wherever you want when things get too hot or too cold in the town that you're taking a look at. But yeah, I wish I could say, here's the town for you. But maybe Kansas City, maybe Grand Junction, Colorado, maybe Nashville, and maybe Raleigh. That's another one. The Carolinas, Charleston, South Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, a lot of IT in Raleigh, Savannah, Georgia, and then Florida. Florida's got a lot. There's some medium-sized towns. You don't have to live in Miami. You don't have to live. St. Petersburg's a great town. You don't have to live in Tallahassee or Jackson, but even then, their towns aren't that big. But it's hot and muggy as fuck during summer. So, yeah, I would say your Texas and Florida's. That's where logically it's about right where you went, but I would loosen up the purse strings because then what you want to do becomes a lot more feasible. So, anyway, hope that helped out. I'd always recommend traveling and visiting these towns first, though, before you move. And you're the perfect candidate. That's another thing. You're the perfect candidate to go vagabond around a bit and find out where you really. It's not like, I gotta go to Dallas. Like, dude, you work from Toronto, and your employer's in Boston. Well, fucking go travel around, man. Figure it out. But yeah, I would that mid-band. But no, I would spend the money, go, and then you're on a beach in Thailand one winter. Then you're in Australia the next winter. Then you're in New Zealand. Then you're in Fiji. You don't have to be in the same place. You get to fucking travel. So, like, find a place 9 months out of the year in a town you really like after you visited a little bit. That's pretty good, to be into the States or Canada. And then fuck winter. Get the fuck out of there. Or, it's Vegas and then wintertime or summertime and you go back up to Calgary, Revelstoke. That's beautiful shit. That's beautiful shit. So, anyway, I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but I can't. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of thought, gave you a little bit of idea, taught you a different philosophy to loosen up the purse strings a bit. And hopefully that opens up some options. Because there's nothing worse than dying a millionaire. There's nothing worse because you just passed up on a shit ton of fun is all you did. And ease in life. Anyway, you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. I'll take care of you. We got the Praxi app. You can get that on your phone. You can talk to me directly for $2 a minute. And yes, it's that expensive because I am busy with my fucking time. And then I got books and all that other shit. We'll talk to you later. Toodles.